Hello, we are still on the same topic, friends. We are talking about the year ahead of us, 2023, and the year in review. Do you have a plan? If you do not have any, can we provide you with a plan for your immigration status? My name is Bijou Ngwanda. I'm an immigration lawyer based here in DC. I do work with individuals across the country and around the world, because we're dealing with U.S. complex immigration laws cases. If you're new to my channel, please go ahead and subscribe. If you're not new, welcome back. Thank you for subscribing. And please do not forget to hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on anything. If you enjoy the content, you go ahead and share, like, and don't forget to comment below. Also follow me on Instagram because we're talking about employment based. We are talking about self-petitions. We're talking about investment, the business side of immigration, and more. You can also join me on my private Facebook group so that you can ask your questions, okay? Because some people, they don't want to post their questions on YouTube. You can post it there because it's a private Facebook group. So, and we will try to the best, okay, of our ability to actually help you out as well. But if you need a consultation, please call 202-751-2180. Email bijou.ngwandaesq@gmail.com. You can also schedule your own consultation, right, by clicking the link in the description box below. All those links are in the description box below. Consultation fees apply as usual. Let's get right into the topic. Do you have a plan? Or can we provide you a plan? So we're going to talk about two subjects. We're going to talk about self-petitions in the context of EB2, and we're going to talk about asylum. So when it comes to national interest waiver EB2 and EB1 extraordinary ability, we know those are self-petitions, self-sponsor type of green card. So what are the key difference? What is really the key, the major difference between NIW and EB1A, right? So national interest waiver, what they're trying to look at really, among other things, is if you are well positioned, okay? Are you well positioned to actually pursue the endeavor in question? Are you well positioned? Do you have proper licenses? For example, let's say if we're talking about an accountant, right, who has extraordinary ability in business or exceptional skills in business and so forth, do you have the CPA license? If we're talking about a lawyer, do you have your license to practice law? If you're talking about a doctor, do you have that license? If you're talking about a real estate agent, do you have that license? Do you have proper licenses? Do you belong to a group of professionals, do you have a membership in some type of profession? For example, a nurse, do you have that license? Okay, so that's how they look at when they say, are you well positioned? Those are the things that they will pretty much examine, okay? And when it comes to EB1, they want to see that you have already accomplished the thing in question. So what is the achievement that you have? Because remember, EB1, extraordinary ability, beyond the average. So if you can place yourself among the 10% in your field of expertise, how are they going to see that? Well, do you have the achievement in question? For example, if you're talking about, I'm an artist or I'm an actor, have you won an Oscar? Have you won a prize, recognized nationally or internationally, locally, nationally, internationally, right? So, and you have to have extensive evidence to show that really you have extraordinary abilities. So that's one of the key distinction, okay, when it comes to EB1, EB2. We're talking about EB1A specifically, and we're talking about national interest waiver when it comes to EB2 category. So those self-sponsor green cards. So can you self-sponsor? Of course, yes. If you qualify, we can help you with that. Again, 227-51-2180. We have really come up with a strong argument really to convince USCIS as far as your qualifications are concerned. And we can help you and guide you in basically getting those evidence and presenting it to the best way possible, really giving you a real good shot at it. Okay, so second topic, let's talk about asylum. What is your plan for asylum? Are you applying for asylum late? Specifically, we're going to talk about people who actually apply for asylum late based on change of circumstances. All right, let's say you have a qualifying change of circumstance argument for you applying late, or maybe extraordinary circumstances beyond your control, and pretty much led you to apply late. And now, because you couldn't prove past persecution, because remember, when someone comes to the asylum game late, with their application late, most of the time, not all the time, most of the time they can't prove past persecution, because, well, why are you applying late if you have been persecuted in the past? But now, because of those change of circumstances, they can prove a future persecution, right? Well-founded fear of future persecution. So how do you do it? That's why we want to help you, okay? Well, the way you prove it is that your testimony and the fear in question has to be subjective and reasonably objective. Two things, right? Subjective and reasonably objective. When it comes to the subjective test, how do you meet that requirement? It's about credibility of your testimony, especially in court, right? When you're testifying in court, credibility of your testimony. Remember, in court, you're going to be examined on direct, cross-examined again, and redirect and cross-redirect. So you're going to be examined. They're going to test the credibility of your testimony, starting with your own lawyer, the government lawyer, DHS, the Office of Chief Counsel, and the judge himself, really, or herself. They're going to question you to find out whether your testimony has some type of credibility. Once you pass that test of subjective, then we go to whether it is objectively reasonable, right? And how do we find out? Well, we find out that it's objectively reasonable or reasonably objective. So basically, we want to see the reasonableness of it, right? So if it's objective, but the way they do it is by you coming with concrete, real evidence based in reality. The fear in question is based in reality. The way you're going to show it, for example, let's say we're talking about female genital mutilation, right? And that, well, you're going to show evidence, country conditions, those evidence, or maybe you go to the doctor. If you've gone through it, then the doctor here is going to test you, and you're going to have like hard copy evidence of the doctor, the expert testimony as far as your condition, right? So, and that's how you meet the reasonableness and objective test when you are talking about future persecution, the fear, well-founded fear of future persecution. And furthermore, if you cannot establish all that, you can also go with the pattern, right? You can show that there is a pattern of this type of activity in your country of origin or the country where you last resided, right? So the pattern, once the pattern has been shown, really, you do not have to show that you will be singled out, like they just have to take you and you the only one. So once you have established the pattern, as long as the pattern is pervasive, okay, and it goes on really like deep, like with those country conditions and stuff like that. So at that point, you don't have to be singled out. So you don't have to show that it's going to happen to me particularly, right? As long as you show the pattern, that there is this type of things that happen in my country all the time. Pervasive. It's so pervasive, right? So that's how you convince the immigration judge. And remember, they're gonna look at the negative factors. If there are no negative factors, then they have no option but to grant you asylum. And sometimes even with negative factors, the judge still has discretionary power, right, to decide on your fate. So this is it for today. We wanted to really emphasize on the plan. Get your immigration status on track. Get a plan. If you don't have any, call us. Let's try to figure this thing out. Hopefully, we're gonna come with a solution. So that's what it is, right? We're here to provide solutions to the most difficult immigration matter. Okay. Until next time. Bye bye.